about that, you know.
Okay.
It looks to me like we're live, but
Yep. Says we're live right now.
yep, go Niners. And
Go Hawks.
Eddie over here, yeah, he's gonna say go Hawks, you know. But so at this point, it's Thanksgiving, folks. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody, everyone who's watching. You know, have a good day with your families or whatever it is you end up doing, and watching football all day. And speaking of, we have the night game today, folks. Now,
Hmm.
if anyone here has seen me streaming about Thursday night games, you know I'm not a fan. It's a short week, doesn't give the players the time they need to heal up a little bit from the bruises and the bumps they took from the last week. I'm really not. Thursday games, I'm not a fan of. Thanksgiving is kind of a tradition. It's typically not us playing. It's like Detroit and Green Bay, and you got Dallas playing somebody, which I think they're playing the Commanders today.
Yep.
And then we got the Seahawks at Seattle in the night game. So for so long, Seattle, they literally own us. It's like 30-20 the overall record, and
Yep.
they had quite the streak going when they had Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson, and the whole time I was thinking it's Pete Carroll. That's something that's about to be answered in the next 3 weeks, 3-4 weeks, because I'm starting to lean towards it's kind of Russell Wilson that owned us, because last season we somehow swept them and beat them in the playoffs. That's kind of rare for stuff like that to happen, but it did happen.
Mhm.
And it always seems like your coach Eddie has something for us, man. It always seems like Pete Carroll has your team ready to play, you know, ready to go. It's the San Francisco 49ers. We got to beat them, you know. Um, Russell Wilson, when he left, like what were your thoughts when that happened?
Well, it was gonna happen sooner or later.
Hmm.
Oh yeah. So, so I guess like we just gotta look in the future.
Yep. And you got Geno Smith, right?
Right.
And Geno, I don't think he's a bad quarterback. I think he's kind of in that area above average. But you put him in with weapons like Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, and now was that Smith Jimba? I
Jackson
think that's
Smith
how
and
you pronounce
Jigba.
his name.
Yeah.
Yes,
Jackson Smith and Jigba.
but yeah, you put weapons around the guy, and that makes him pretty good. This season, you guys are what? Like what's your record? 7-4,
Six six
six
and
and
four. We're
four.
we're coming off a heartbreaking loss to the Rams.
Yeah, I saw that missed kick. I was like, you got to be kidding me. But
Yeah.
it's one
But
of those pesky divisional matchups, just like what we got going on here, right?
right. Right.
And yeah, the kicker did have a chance to win it, and he didn't. But it's like two different fan bases, folks, the 49ers and the Seahawks. And I don't think the Seahawks fan base is calling for their kicker's head like, our fan base was.
Oh, oh yeah, I
He's a
remember that.
rookie,
Oh yeah, when you
the
guys missed
Browns.
that game winner against the Browns, it's like a lot of you guys were calling for his head because if I'm correct, wasn't that like a 40-yarder that he missed?
I believe it was a 41 yarder, but you know, that's yeah. Distance wise, it shouldn't be a thing for him. You know,
Yeah, because I know the main thing you guys were not happy about. I mean, it's like getting kicked. You got a kicker like within the fourth round. if I'm correct. Third or fourth round.
Yeah, the third round compensation pick, which didn't used to exist, so it would be a fourth rounder, but before they started doing that.
Yeah. I know, like I was saw like when I know like Sam Dog was saying if you get kickers, you gotta wait till like later on in the round or just get them undrafted.
And that's true. But when the Niners took him, we're like, man, that is so early to take a kicker. A lot of people, my guy Bryant, he was excited. He actually called it on a couple shows, like before the draft. We did. He called that there, but he's like, they're going to take Jake Moody, and they did. Bryant was right. You know, Shout out to the guy. And he also bought his jersey, his number 4 jersey before the Jake Moody was actually issued number 4. Now that takes guts. Yep, that takes guts.
Whoa.
You know.
I wouldn't have even done that yet. It's like, well, you got to see what the person could do first before you buy their jersey.
Well, he's excited. He's a special teams guy. He actually kicked when he played football, so he's a special teams guy. That's his thing, right?
I
And
read,
he actually has a couple, like he has Mish Wisnowski, our punter. He has his
yeah,
practice jersey from his rookie season. He was number 6, I believe. So he's got. And if Jake Moody would have changed numbers, that's what it would have been. It would have been his practice jersey, right?
right.
That's what it would have turned into. But shout out to my guy. He got his number, so he's good. And at this point, I'm actually going to look up the final injury report, which is something I've been waiting to look at because this is I'm honestly I've been hearing that Spencer Burford, our right guard, might miss. Although he played 60 snaps on the injured knee, he might just miss this week.
Yeah, yeah, I
And
read about that.
it's like if Aaron Banks, our left guard, is still suffering from turf toe, you got to put who do you put in? We have 2 backup tackles that have experience. Our interior guys are literally practice squad, if not young guys that don't have the necessary experience. So it's just one of those things. Headshot. But yeah, here we go. Looking at the 49ers, Aaron Banks. He he practiced limited on Tuesday and Wednesday and is listed as questionable. Spencer Burford is also listed as questionable, but he did not practice all week, so I'm thinking that should be doubtful. Our all-pro safety, Talanoa Hufanga, has a torn ACL. He's done for the season.
Oh,
That's not,
I wish him a speedy recovery.
Yep. He's a good guy too. I mean, everyone
Yeah,
who's met
that's
him
like,
in person, they say he's a great guy.
yeah, cause I read like that's kind of a blow to the defense.
It is. It is. We drafted a safety, Jair Brown, in the 3rd round, and we literally traded up to get him. It's a guy that I don't think our brass was thinking is going to fall that far, but they snagged him. He came in and had a splash last week, and I call it a splash because it was only a partial game. We haven't seen him, put multiple games like that together in a row yet. So, we'll see what happens there. We do have a capable backup though. But Javon Hargrave, the grave digger, our interior tackle, thumb injury, he's playing. Shermer Jean Charles, he's our corner. He's a special team guy. Says shoulder injury. I guarantee he's playing. He had a full practice on Wednesday. Ray McLeod, ribs, he's playing. Sammy Womack Jr. and Robert Bill Jr., they have full practices and they're listed as questionable. So I don't know if either one of them was activated. But they're coming off of IR and physically unable to perform less, whatever. So you got Jamal Adams.
Yeah.
Says
He's
knee.
playing.
Says knee slash resting player. Yeah, full. He's got a full practice on Tuesday and Wednesday, so he's playing.
Oh yeah, he sat out the
Bobo.
last game.
Yep, Bobo has a shoulder, and it says that he has 2 full practices. I guarantee he's playing. That's another one of
They're gonna be.
Bryant's players. He likes Bobo,
Yeah, he's been
but
surprising me out of this year. That
oh
guy
yeah,
from
one of
you.
these guys I gotta ask you what you think about. But Anthony Bradford, your guard, knee, he's full practice all week. He's a go. Trey Brown, corner, foot, 2 full practices out of 3. He's going. Kobe Bryant, this is the guy I want to ask you about because he's technically on IR. And obviously they opened his practice window. Is there even a roster spot for the guy right now with all the defensive backs you have?
I mean, if he doesn't play tonight, then we can save him for next week when we take on Dallas. I mean, because we thought we were getting Abe Lucas back, but looks like Jason Peters will be starting in his spot again. Because when you get players off IR, it's like you don't want to rush them back right away. But
That's true. That is true. You don't. You want to get them in some sort of football shape, right?
now is Trent Williams
But
playing
yeah,
too?
I've actually read some articles and heard a couple of people say we don't, with everyone we have, we don't even have a spot for the guy right now.
Yeah,
And the trade deadline came and gone, so it's not like you can do that, right?
right.
But DJ Dallas, running back, he's a full go.
Yep,
Shoulder injury, it says full practices. Tyler Lockett, hamstring. I didn't know he was hurt. He has 2 full practices. He's going. Dang, Abraham Lucas, offensive tackle. Is this the is this your left tackle?
yeah,
Says he has a knee injury, but he's got 3 full practices, so it can't be that bad. DK Metcalf says toe, and he's gonna be going. He's got a full practice
yeah,
day in.
yeah,
Colby Parkinson, that must be a backup tight end. Biceps, full
yeah,
practices. Jarek Reed the second. It's a safety
yeah, yeah. He just tore his
knee.
ACL.
Yeah, it says he's out. So I don't know if they put him on IR yet. Geno Smith, it says questionable, but he's got a full practice in.
Yeah, oh yeah, he's
So
playing.
right elbow. Yeah, he's playing. Kenneth Walker, your running back. Oblique. He did not practice all week. It says doubtful.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be missing a few games.
Oh wow, Reek Woolen. That's one of your corners, one of your good defensive backs. He was limited in 2, full on 3. He's probably going.
Yeah,
And Derek Young, wide receiver, abdomen. He is listed as doubtful. So those are our that's our injury list there.
yeah.
I don't know if Burford's playing or not. I'm actually gonna look into this a little more. But what do you think? What do you think about playing on Thanksgiving? I mean,
I mean,
prime time
well,
game for the whole nation's gonna be watching.
I mean, this is gonna be like I think like the first time in 9 years when we came to your stadium. 'Cause I mean, I expected that game to be close, but I did not. I had no idea we were gonna get an easy run with it. Because I remember having to go to work, so I only got to see little bits of that game. But because I remember when I walked into work, it's like Richard Sherman had already caught an interception from Kaepernick, oh yeah, and I remember like that was Jim Harbaugh's final year in San Francisco before I think he went to go coach at Michigan.
Yep. Yeah, the whole dysfunctional front office thing that we had going on for a very long time. I'm saying that because that started the second Ed DeBartolo Jr. handed it to the Yorks. But, and I'm actually reading up on this. It says both teams will be without key players. Yeah, this guy's confirming that Spencer Burford will not be playing. No one. And it honestly looks like Aaron Banks is coming back for this game. So we're probably going to have Feliciano at right guard.
Yes. So I guess now, what are your keys of winning this game?
We gotta run the ball, which your guys' defensive line has improved a bit over last year, and you got Bobby Wagner back, so that's not going to be an easy task.
Right. Yeah.
And eat the clock up and play defense. Got to get pressure on Gino. Force him to make a mistake or two, right?
Right.
That's literally the keys to beating the Seahawks. When it comes to DK Metcalf, let's double them up. Tyler Lockett, you can't double up everybody, but our our second starting corner is actually pretty good, and I would be confident putting him one-on-one with him. Not saying he's going to win all game, but he'll win enough of those battles.
Yeah.
And what we've actually been doing is we bring in a boundary corner and we move our starting outside guy into nickel, because the nickel we had playing he couldn't cover anything. He just couldn't cover. He could tackle, but he can't cover. So we were getting burned a lot from that inside slot spot. But at this point, the main thing is getting pressure on Gino, make him force him to make a mistake or two, right?
Right.
What are your keys to the game?
Well, number one, we got to get plenty of pressure on Brock Purdy. Number two, we cannot get hit with a lot of penalties. Because I remember I think in our last game, that's what also cost us the game is like a couple. I think it was like penalty on Tariq Woolen, the penalty on Devin Witherspoon. Like, yeah, wish we would have got called for. Wish the Rams would have got called for like roughing the passer from Aaron Donald.
Yeah, that was kind of interesting how he doesn't get called for that, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I look at it like if there's a lot of players out there that you know would get called, but this is Aaron Donald. He's elite, right? So
Yeah.
he gets the benefit of the doubt. I don't feel like games should be officiated like that, you know. And you know what? I use the term elite, and I don't use that much, you know. But I actually saw something in the news, and this is off of 49ers and Seahawks subject.
Okay.
And I watched a video of a former NFL quarterback, Tom Brady, calling the NFL game soft. I don't think he has a right to do that.
I don't. I agree.
I mean, the current rules, all the rule changes and everything that happened over his career helped prolong his career. It helped make him into what he is. If I've said this on a few streams. If he played back in the days of like, Terry Bradshaw or Joe Montana, even, Those quarterbacks were getting hit. There was no, you can't hit the quarterback high or low. There was none of that going on. You waylaid the guy, you know, and that's just how it was, right? Lawrence
Right.
Taylor knocked Joe Montana out of the game. I believe that was in the playoffs. I was young when I watched that. Disappointed too. But, if he played back in that day, he wouldn't have been able to play till he's 46. There's no way. You know, you got to think about your future and your body too, right?
Right.
There's some guys that can't, hardly walk after their NFL careers, and
Yeah.
it's just kind of sad. You know,
Yeah.
football is a violent sport, folks, and
And
that's just what it's about.
but
But
I'm gonna tell you one thing. When we every time we when we go down to Arizona, it's like we call that place the House of Horrors because like no, that's been the same deal. Like Richard Sherman tore his Achilles, like Cam Chancellor ended his career out there, and then Earl Thomas like tore I think believe tore his ACL.
Earl Thomas was a good safety. That's a guy.
Yeah,
Every time we played against your team, I was like, Earl Thomas is there. Oh no, it's just like, yeah. Every time the guy took the field, and then when he got injured, it was like I think he was about to become a free agent, right?
yeah, because when he
And
gave the team the finger,
yeah, yeah, he gave the team the finger on the way out, and I didn't know all the details into that. I was honestly thinking it's because they wouldn't give him a big contract extension, or like I said, I don't know the whole story. I mean, maybe you have a little bit of insight on that.
yeah, he no, he held out for because when they do it, it's always like pay me or trade me. Because you remember when Nick Bosa did that for you, he was holding out because I think didn't he want to get paid right away, or you guys were just so busy like trying to pay other people. It's like he wanted
Well,
like a very big contract.
yeah, he wanted. I think they were negotiating for a very long time, and it's like if the Niners were smart, they just would have caved and they would have got him in preseason. Because at this point, he's finally in football shape and playing. At the beginning of the season, he kind of, he was still getting pressures, but it kind of seemed like he was just not quite himself. And then, the losing streak happens, and I mean, 3 games in a row, and 2 of those were very winnable games. We just
Yeah,
we couldn't get it done. Too many mistakes. We weren't playing 49er football, right?
yeah,
Um, that's how it was, right? Yeah, that's
right,
another thing too. Like we got Kittle in the middle, and lately he has seemed to become a focal point at in our offense. And it's kind of like it's about time because all this game tape I've been watching because not sponsored YouTube. I have NFL Plus, right?
right.
So I go back and I watch some game tape and I see him open, but he's not getting the ball. So now we're featuring him. There's not many. I don't think there's any real linebackers in the league that can cover him. There might be one guy, and he's a 49er, Fred Warner.
Yeah,
But you got to put like a safety or a corner on the guy to try to cover him, and then he has a size advantage. So it's just kind of a mismatch either way, right? So George Kittle, I wouldn't be surprised to see him be a focal point of our offense. And as for our defense, like I said, get to Geno Smith quick. I would like to see us play a more press man than zone against this team because of how good your wide receivers are. You know, check the wide receiver right at the line of scrimmage, and hopefully our defensive backs that have bad habits of bear hugging guys downfield can keep their hands to ourselves today.
yeah. Well, I mean, I don't think he's gonna try to hold the Gino's gonna hold the ball too long. I mean, that's been. I mean, I know Russell Wilson used to do that a lot. I
Yep.
mean, that explained why he led the most. He led the league in sacks because he just doesn't know when to get rid of the ball.
Yeah, that's where that whole let Russell Wilson cook term comes from. And it's like, his first year and a half with the Broncos, I'm going to have to put the failure label on that. Right now, they're actually starting to come around, which we'll see what they do for the rest of the season.
Yeah,
But I got to shout out the chat. We got all kind of we got some great folks in here. Randy Daytona, he's a faithful. I'm sure you know Eric Wallace. He's a Seahawks fan.
yeah,
The Centennials Football Channel. He's a faithful.
yeah.
Thanks for coming, guys. We got Tommy Huxley.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
not the goat. He's the camel with two humps. We
What's up,
got
Tommy?
Steve Supremo, my guy. There's Bebop. Bebop is here. What's up, Bebop? My guy Damian Lee. Gammon Brown, he's here. Sorry, Gammon, I'm not going on for very much longer. We got like maybe 5-10 minutes left, and it's Turkey Day, so I got to get to my mom's house and get to cooking. But at this point, I'm looking for questions in the chat to see. Oh, and yes, happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Ooh, let's not talk about that. David Corona, he's also watching, my guy.
What's up, David?
But yeah, so we got the evening game tonight, and honestly, it's a big game for us because losing those 3 games, the number 1 seed is not looking like a thing right now. Number 2
Yeah,
seed is actually looking pretty good. Shout out to the Packers, for stepping up and beating the Lions. I don't even know the final score on that yet. I gotta look.
I
But
forgot to also.
well, we'll find out right here. Why not?
Uh, but I've noticed like lots of time when you come to Seattle, it's like you guys have never played very well in our stadium. It doesn't because you
Yes,
well.
the Packers did win. The Packers won 29-22.
Mhm.
But yeah, historically, we don't play good at Seattle. Last year we beat the brakes off you at Santa Clara. You know,
Yeah,
James Richard Garoppolo came in, and the team played great. And you guys didn't quite have your footing without Russell Wilson yet. At least that's what I think was going on there.
yeah,
And then we went to Seattle later in the season, and that was a close game. I think we won that by 6 points. And the running back that I think we need to run more, JP Mason, busted off a 55-yard run late in the game to seal the deal. And yeah, that was a hard fought game. And that's
yeah,
fully what I'm expecting tonight. Like Vegas actually has us favored by 7, which kind of surprises me. You know,
yeah, yeah. It's gonna be
I
a very close game.
yeah, I don't put a lot of stock into what Vegas says because sometimes they're right, sometimes they're not right. But if we're able to pull the game out by 7, we're doing pretty good. I honestly think I believe I put like 23-20 as a score prediction for it, which I
Yeah,
just think it's going to be a close game. I have no idea what the score is going to be. Could be 6-9, could be 49-20, could be, you never know what's going to happen until the game starts and gets going, right?
right. I I put like for us if we win 27-23. I mean
Yeah, so
that
we're
sounds fair.
both pretty close. The margin of victory, I got 3 points, you got 4 points. We're pretty close on that, you know, and that's just the type of game I see it being. We
Yeah,
got to play solid football. And it's more like at this point, if we didn't lose to the Browns and the Vikings, guys, this wouldn't be a must win. But I'm looking at it like it's a must win because we have to keep up with the Eagles.
I mean, the only two games I wish we didn't lose to was the Bengals and of course the last Rams game. Because it's like for the Bengals, if we had a chance, all we needed to do was score a touch. We were in the red zone. If we would have scored right there, we would have won that game.
That's true. That's true. You know, a lot of things happen in the game that swings momentum and, changes the outcome, right?
Yeah. I mean, I guess.
Ooh,
I,
Bebop
I
brought up
mean,
an excellent point.
okay.
Eddie, you're old enough. You know who I'm sure you watched a lot of Thanksgiving Day games with John Madden, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I miss him because he would
It,
he would bring the turkey up, on screen, and he would start circling the turkey, and he'd circle the legs, and start talking about food, and the game's happening in the background, but he don't care. He's talking about that turkey. You know,
yeah.
I miss
I,
John Madden.
that was a heart. That was the most heartbreaking news to hear a few years ago.
It was. It was. He was a great guy. But well,
I mean,
I think it's almost time for us to get out of here, buddy. Get on, Thanksgiving Day, spend some time with our
yeah.
families, get ready for the game tonight.
It's nice that we get.
What are you
It's
doing for
nice.
the game? You watching it from home, or are you gonna go hang out with family and watch it?
I'm gonna be hanging it with family, but I
I'm
know it's gonna be very loud in our stadium tonight.
Yeah, I'm more than likely gonna be watching it from home. Um, and also gonna be on a stream with my guy No Border Sports because my guy Corey, he's not feeling well today. So I will be filling in for him later, folks. Um, Other than that, it's always go Niners and F Lambs. What do you got, Eddie?
I say go Hawks and F the Lambs.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
the Rams are.
All right. Hey, good luck tonight.